Have you ever thought or asked yourself about the whereabouts of Ishmael and his children? The Bible records that Abraham sent Ishmael and his mother away, far from Isaac, so that they would not become an issue to him as they grew up. We cannot talk about the tribes of Ishmael without answering some questions. Who is Ishmael? How did Ishmael come into the picture? Who gave birth to Ishmael? Let us start with the question, who is Ishmael? Ishmael's story can be found in the book of Genesis, particularly chapters 16 and 21. Abraham, who was originally named Abram, is a central figure according to biblical accounts. What led to Ishmael's existence as explained in the Bible is the very long-standing barrenness of Abraham's wife Sarah. Sarah knew a promise God made to Abraham to make him a father of many nations. She then thought and took the initiative to fulfill what she believed to be God's promise of descendants for Abraham. She offered her maidservant Hagar, who was an Egyptian, to Abraham as a surrogate, so to speak. Abraham actually agreed to what Sarah said, and in the meantime, Hagar became pregnant. When Hagar gave birth, the child was named Ishmael. Now, the birth of Ishmael came with certain complexities. Tension rose in the household as Sarah started to get jealous. Hagar eventually fled into the wilderness with Ishmael. Now let us relate how a child whose mother ran into the wilderness to escape from Sarah turned to the father of a nation, having 12 tribes come out of him. It all started when an angel appeared to Hagar in the wilderness and promised her that Ishmael would become the father of a great nation. Genesis chapter 16 verse 10. The angel added, "I will so increase your descendants that they will be too numerous to count." This encounter in the wilderness is the moment that foreshadows Ishmael's destiny. Let us delve into our main topic. Just a few people today know the full details of Ishmael, his descendants, and their possible location in today's world. People's perception generally is that his generation is traditionally associated with a part of the Arab nations, and some people do not even know that his story in the Bible covers more than his birth, which explains that Ishmael has descendants. Let us look at the verse of the Bible that shows proof that Ishmael's 12 tribes actually exists somewhere in the world presently. Genesis chapter 17 verse 20 says, "As for Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful and will greatly increase his numbers. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation." This verse indicates God's promise to bless Ishmael and make him a father of great nations. This is where it gets interesting. The Bible passage mentioned 12 rulers, which practically equals 12 tribes. Now, when Ishmael eventually had descendants, he became the father of 12 sons whose names were Nebaioth, the firstborn of Ishmael, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedema. The sons of Ishmael eventually took wives, and to them, children were born. This is how the 12 tribes of Ishmael started to form and take shape. Now, based on research, these tribes are made of certain nations, and these nations are set up from a place called Havilah to Shur, and then from Egypt to Assyria, based on discovery. As believed by creationists, the tribe of Ishmael is the sole tribe of the Arabian desert. I would like to prove them wrong a little bit, as some other tribes came in from other sources. Now, we will be picking these sons of Ishmael one by one, and we will talk about their tribes and their locations. Nebaioth. This tribe is specifically known for sheep rearing, as mentioned in the book of Isaiah chapter 60 verse 7, which says, "All Kedar's flocks will be gathered to you. The rams of Nebaioth will serve you. They will be accepted as offerings on my altar, and I will adorn my glorious temple." Nebaioth was mentioned by a Jewish historian named Josephus. This historian claimed he had met with Nabateans and related them to Nebaioth, Ishmael's first son. As regards their location, Josephus discussed that they lived throughout the whole country extending from Euphrates to the Red Sea. He referred to the land area as Nabatean. This Jewish historian lived and wrote his stories when the Nabateans were in existence, so there is a high probability that he got his pieces of information from them directly. Kedar. The sons of Kedar became known as the Kedarites. The Kedarites were known for a particular thing, and that thing is that they have military power. In the book of Isaiah, Isaiah spoke about the Kedarites and how they had experienced archers who were very good at what they did. The Kedarites had dominion over northern Arabia, so they were mostly settled there. Well, certain wars were recorded to have happened with the Assyrians, Neo-Babylonians, Persians, and even the Romans. Kedarites were known to worship deities, one of which is a captured Arabian deity named Atar-Samain. Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 10 proves the existence of the Kedarites when God was telling the people to observe how faithful they were to a false god. It said, "Cross over to the coasts of Kittim and look, send to Kedar and observe closely. See if there has ever been anything like this." Adbeel. The tribe of Adbeel is usually identified with the people of Arubu. This tribe was said to have habitat in the Sinai, as their chieftain operated as the Assyrian king's agent at the coast of Egypt. His tribe was known to have been in a faraway place through the west. Mibsam and Mishma. These ones were based on perception, as historians have no proof that they really founded the villages around Jebel Misma. Well, when it comes to them, it was propounded that they might have gotten married to a tribe called Simeonites and have disappeared to stay independently. Duma. A lot was discussed about this tribe. They were also mentioned in the Bible as a city in Canaan. It was also discovered that they were kind of associated with Edom and Seir. The Bible verse that confirms them as a city in Canaan can be found in Joshua chapter 15 verse 52, which says, "Arab with Duma, Eshan, Janim, Beth Tapua, Afika, Humta, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns and their villages." Duma is said to have been identified with the Adirian Adumatu people, and these people are associated with medieval Arabic. The Dumas were made to be the gatekeepers of northern Arabia. It was like making them the watcher to the center of rule because it served as a very important junction in the ancient East, where they would often stop to rest before proceeding to Syria or Babylon. A certain historian claims to have located Duma in Wadi el-Qura, about 50 miles southeast of Aqaba, and then places Massa between it and Mount Ser Massa. Some archaeologists discovered some graffiti script which indicates that the Massa tribe is connected with Dedan and Nebaioth. This script describes a war against Dedan, a war against Nebaioth, and a war against Massa. As a result, these tribes seem to have been close to each other at the time the war happened. There is also a possibility that the land of Massa is also connected to the Massanoi of North Arabia. It is said that the children of Massa occupied the Arabian desert towards Babylonia. Massa was possibly ruled by King Lemuel, as indicated in Proverbs chapter 30 verse 1. Hadad. Some historians speculate that this tribe may have become known as the Harar, or the Hararina people who lived near the mountains northwest of Palmyra. It is also interesting to notice that there is a Hadad tribe in Arabia. Most of the Hadads are now Christians and are located throughout the Levant, for example, Jordan, Syria, Lebanon, and Palestine. The modern-day Hadadin tribe is also related. I think I love Hadad especially. They seem to grow a lot into civilization. Tema. They are kind of associated with the ancient part of Tema, and this is located northeast of the Hijaz, on the trade route between Medina and Duma. It is presently assumed that the city of Tema is at the southwestern end of the Great Nafud Desert. Tema was built in a certain way. The new buildings were built on the remains of the old buildings. Jetur. It is said that Jetur is the father of Iturians in the New Testament. They are associated with the Moabites, Nabateans, and Ammonites, whom David fought in his time. Lysanias is regarded as the king of the Iturians. As regards the location of the Iturians, it seems that Iturians have lived in the mountains and valleys of the Koel Syria, and also the southeast of Hermon, which is the modern Judur. Naphish. The descendants of Naphish are referred to as Nephisim. It was mentioned in Ezra chapter 2 verse 50. It is said they were defeated by the Israelites in the east of Jordan. Kedema, whose name means the east, and it appears that he is the father of the Cadmonites. In Genesis chapter 15 verse 19, they were mentioned along with the Kenites and Kenizzites of Edom. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, kindly subscribe to continue to get this kind of video. See you next time. Cheers.